Good afternoon, everyone. So glad you're here today and that you were taking the time to spend this afternoon with us. Before we get started, let's just get to know everybody a little bit. My name is Jordan. I am the corporate trainer. I am here at our Dallas showroom in Texas, enjoying this summer heat. Kalin, where are you at?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia. So it is super hot down
Yes,
here.
gotta love that southern summer heat. Put in the chat where are y'all coming in from this day?
Yeah. And how's the weather currently?
Yes, yes. Annapolis, excellent. Hot and smoky. Yes, the whole Northeast right now.
I know I could use a pina colada like on a beach
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Hey, coming in from Austin, excellent. Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Pittsburgh, San Diego. We are all over. Just hot in Las Vegas, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Ugh, hitting the triple digits. Gosh.
Grand Rapids, hot and smoky. Cleveland, Ohio, also warm and hazy.
Mm,
Uh,
kind of crazy weather. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Although I'm jealous of those nice 80s in California. That sounds so nice. But again, we're super glad y'all made it with us today. Um, I'm Jordan, as I said, the corporate trainer here for WAC Group, and I'm in our Dallas showroom. And I'm here with Kalin. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am Kalin Scott. I am the designer showroom sales manager for Modern Forms in Schaumburg.
Excellent. So thank you all for being here. And today we are going to spend just a little bit of time taking you through WAC Home and specifically how it works with tunable white lighting and our decorative products. So we'll go ahead and get started. And before I dive into the product, I just want to briefly give you a little overview of WAC Group as a brand. So WAC Group is a 40-year-old company. We've been around a good while. We have innovated in technology and in products, and we have four primary brands that are part of WAC Group. We just launched WAC Architectural, which is our large scale, high specification grade product for commercial projects. Then we have WAC Lighting, which is our functional lighting. It is often residential, but also for commercial and specifications. Then we have Modern Forms, which is our modern decorative luxury line of products as well as fans. And then we have Schonbeck, which is our luxury crystal line. And so today, WAC Home spans across most of these brands. We have functional lighting and some of our decorative with LED that's part of WAC lighting, but we also have decorative luminaires that are part of Modern Forms and Schonbeck. And Caitlin will take you through those as we go through this presentation. So before we get into the specific fixtures, I want to tell you a little bit about the system as a whole and the technology that makes it work. So WAC Home is a smart lighting system, and it is geared towards the residential market. And the goal is to make it easy to give you control over your environment and provide a seamless, beautiful, well-lit space. So this is a smart system that works within our MyWAC app ecosystem. And this allows you to use tunable white features using our smart app. And it's very seamless. So the tunable white for WAC Home is 1800 to 4000 Kelvin and everything in between. And all of the fixtures that work with this system will do that tunable white range. So you get really uniform, even lighting that's super, super easy to use. So I'll go through all the components that are part of this system first. We have the app-based control. So this gives you both local control and remote control using the MyWAC app on your smartphone or tablet. And then this can do tunable white, which I'll dive into a little bit more of the specifics of tunable white in a minute, but it allows you to change the color temperature of your fixtures within this range. You can also fully personalize the system. Each fixture can be addressed individually. So if you need to adjust to a very specific color temperature, or if you want to have a range of temperatures to highlight different colors within your house, you can do that. It is also operating on our WAC mesh network. This is a Bluetooth mesh based connection, which means it's very, very reliable and it's not going to interfere with your Wi Fi or bog anything down. It uses familiar wiring, so it's super easy to install. You don't have to worry about adding an extra data wire. And we have a complete family of products. So we have downlights, tape light, we have decorative fixtures, and I'll take you through those in a little bit more detail coming up. So first, I want to talk about the experience of this system. What does it mean that we have a tunable white lighting system? So tunable white is flexibility. You can independently adjust the color temperature for all of your fixtures, and you can have that adjusted throughout the day, which means that in the morning when you're waking up and you want some bright lighting to help get you alert, you're reading the paper with your coffee, you can adjust your lights to be a cooler color temperature, maybe 4,000 Kelvin. And then when you're getting ready to go to bed, you're winding down, you want to sip a glass of wine after dinner while sitting and having a conversation, you can bring that light down to 2,700 or even 1,800 Kelvin if you just want that candlelit effect. And that can make it highly comfortable lighting. To be able to adjust the space to change the whole atmosphere of your room with harmony and uniformity between all of your fixtures, it makes it easier for you to see whether you need to see in bright, clear lighting for cleaning or for reading or for relaxing and winding down at night. But this also allows you to do more than just see at different activities. You can also use this to enhance the colors of your space. So if you are lighting a room that has lots of rich oranges and reds and yellows, using a warmer color temperature will draw those colors out. And similarly, if you're lighting a room that has cooler toned colors, blues, greens, and purples, using that cooler 4,000 Kelvin light will help draw out those cooler colors and just make everything pop within the space. So this has more than just design and more than just comfort, it's both. Now, how do you control the experience of this space? WAC Home has a wall station and it has 4 preset buttons on it. And these allow you to very simply just walk in, push a button, and turn on the lights and have a beautiful scene set. So out of the box, you'll get these default settings, these presets that we like to call them. We have button 1, which is welcome, that puts you at 3,000 Kelvin. This is good general lighting. Button 2 is focus. This is 4,000 Kelvin all the way up on the brightness. And this is great for your task lighting, cleaning, homework, waking up in the morning. And then you have entertain, button 3. This is my favorite. Takes it down to 2,700 Kelvin and a little bit lower intensity so that you can have conversation without being blinded by the light. Just really relaxing and comfortable. And then button 4 takes it all the way down to the lowest settings, 1,800 Kelvin. And this gives you that candlelight effect. This can be great for your evenings, for a movie night. And all of these are the settings that come with the system. You don't have to do any special programming. And all of the decorative fixtures can do all of these settings. We also have intensity buttons up and down, as well as a dedicated off button. So this preset control makes it super easy to plug and play, get these settings, and you have beautiful lighting. But you can also personalize all of these scenes. So let's say this button 1 preset. This is normally 3,000 Kelvin at 75% intensity. What if you want to adjust this a little bit, make it a little more dynamic? You could choose using the MyWAC app to program this button to instead function as a dim to warm. And that means that when you adjust the intensity, you'll also adjust the color temperature. So this allows you to dim down and get warmer and then increase the intensity and get cooler. So it gives you a little bit more dynamic control without having to pull up your app to do anything. Then you have some other personalization options. You could do this for button 1, or you could do this for any of the other buttons, but you can also do something we like to call natural lighting. So this is where the sun will indicate what your lighting will be inside. So the light will be adjusted according to your zip code to follow the sun. So when you turn it on in the morning, if you use this natural setting, you'll get warmer and dimmer lighting to match the sun. If you use this natural button in the afternoon, it'll come on and it's going to be bright and cool. So that way your lighting will be able to balance with the windows outside. And you can jump in and out of this at any time, but this just gives you a really nice option if you would like that kind of natural rhythm of your day. Now, WAC Home is one of several products offered by WAC Group that work with the My WAC app. So you would come into this app to do all of your personalization for this experience, but you can also interact with these other systems, Ventrix, Colorscaping, and our Modern Form smart fans. And so you can create a very harmonious scene for your whole house, regardless of which of these systems you're using together. Now, the last thing I want to go over before we jump into the product is the technology behind it. So how do we make this tunable white work? How are all of these fixtures doing this? So first, we have our FQ Tunable White. Those are the downlights available from WAC. Then we have our Dwell LED Decorative, Modern Forms Decorative, and then Schonbeck Beyond and Schonbeck Signature Decorative. And then we also offer Invisaled Duet, Pixels Duet, and Button Duet. So these are all functional lighting, the tape, sheet, and under cabinet lighting that can all work together with the decorative and with your downlights. And then we have our system components. We just looked at the wall station and all of the different ways it can be used. And then you see the gateway here on the right. So the gateway is the brain that connects all of these systems together. And how does it do that? So each of the fixtures has a Bluetooth mesh tag in it called the WAC mesh tag. And that tag will connect to all of the other fixtures that are within range. And so this sets up a mesh network, highly reliable. You have lots of lights in your home, so that gives it lots of points of connection. So the gateway doesn't have to be able to reach every single other fixture. But if you have the gateway that reaches the closest 5 fixtures and each of those 5 fixtures reach the next 5 fixtures, you build up this mesh that's very robust and reliable. And so your lighting will always be able to communicate within itself. Because it's a Bluetooth signal, it's not going to burden your Wi-Fi router. The gateway does connect to your internet, and that's how you can connect your phone using the MyWAC app to the gateway. The gateway is the only device that does. Then everything else communicates via Bluetooth, keeping your signal clear and unburdened. These are what the little mesh tags look like. You can see on the right, this is one of our downlight housings, and this would be up in the ceiling. It has an indicator light on it, so you wouldn't typically see that indicator light. But in the event it needs to be serviced, it's there and can give you some information. And then on the left, you can see an example of one of our decorative fixtures. And the mesh tag on that is blended seamlessly into the canopy with a matching finish so that you won't see it whenever you're looking at the fixture, but if you need to find it, you can. So with looking at the system and how the technology works, I want to briefly talk about what does that look like considering different fixture options. So when you're looking at the downlights, which I know we're here to talk about decorative, but just a quick comparison, when you're looking at the downlights, to go from our static white version of these fixtures to the tunable white version, you're looking at about a 30% cost increase. And because they match perfectly, you could mix and match. And you could say, have your static white in the spaces that aren't used as much, like a hallway or in your laundry rooms. And then you can put the tunable white in the spaces where they'll have the most impact, like living rooms and kitchens and primary bedrooms. And then considering a system like WAC Home, one of the big boons is that it does come with decorative, and the cost difference between a full integrated home control and a WAC Home control is significant. Now, WAC Home is not going to control your shades or your blinds, but it comes with the decorative. It comes with your functional, your tape lighting. It's simple to install. It's easy to source. You don't have to worry about compatibility. And so it really makes a great option. Now, up next, we have our description of the products themselves, but I wanted to take a quick pause and just see if there were any questions about the technology before I pass it off to Kalin to talk about the products. You can just put those questions into the chat, and if you don't have any right now, we'll jump in and you can keep putting them in the chat as we go.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thanks, Jordan. You
Mhm.
guys, I am really super excited to share some of our newer collections featuring tunable technology. So, to give you a little background, tunable lighting has traditionally been used in a lot of commercial spaces. So, think of hotels, spas, which is probably what I need right about now, and even restaurants where lighting plays a huge role in creating a certain mood. Now, as we've continued working with the design community, we've noticed a growing demand for that same flexibility into residential spaces. Now, one of the biggest advantages of the Schonbeck portfolio is that it allows us to meet the need of every type of client through its three distinctive collections. Signature, for example, speaks to those who appreciate timeless traditional aesthetic, while Beyond offers a more modern perspective with LED designs. And lastly, our Forever collection, which takes vast inspiration from jewelry. Now, here's the latest designs within our newest collection that offers the same adjustability without compromising on style. Starting strong is the Drizzle. Now, this is a beautiful wall sconce that offers our premium radiance crystal. Its pressed glass diffuser really highlights the dimensions of this collection. It features two finishes while offering a complementary flush mount as well as two sizable wall sconces. Now, this can easily be incorporated into either a bathroom or even a hallway. Scale on this fixture sits at 24 inches with an attractive price point of $14.95. The 18-inch retails at $13.95, which is comparable given the size. Next up is the wraparound. This is really going to give a sterile space the much needed movement given its layers of light. This fixture also showcases our radiance crystal. Delivered lumens on this one sits at 2142, so you have great light output. Notice the aircraft cables on the fixture. It keeps it very intentional, very light while twisting in the air. Again, great scale, sitting at 29 inches at 34.95. Moving on to the Amaro pendant, which is an elongated optic crystal pendant. Now, this striking pendant is inspired by a minimalist look into contemporary spaces. Sitting at around 17 inches in scale, this design will truly give your project the much needed edge with an unbelievable price point of $9.95. And as you all know, aged brass is always going to resonate well in the design community. I personally have aged brass in my home, so you're going to consistently see those particular finishes. Moving on to the domino, this celebrates Tiffany-inspired artistry with handcrafted glass panels. Now, this sculptural pendant romanticizes the 20th century designs while offering a lovely silhouette. I myself can imagine such a sizable piece in either an entryway or perhaps even a kitchen, depending on the scale. Now, this reimagines the timeless design of Schonbeck's signature collections. With 22 inches in scale and being a little under $3,000, I'm sure that this will be a talking point when placed in the right setting. On to the Sputnik-inspired design. This is called Hestia, which showcases blown glass orbs with radiance crystal. Now, its bold architectural form reinforces the mid-century designs we all know and love. I, too, am a mid-century fanatic. It's 18 inches in scale while offering an exceptional value at $17.95. Next is the Cornell, which invokes the elegance of the medieval crown. Now, how many of you have seen Game of Thrones? If you haven't, you need to. It's a really good show. It's probably one of my favorites. I say that because I jokingly always say that I can imagine this in Cersei's home. It just reminds me of an old world chandelier where the ambiance is like warm and dramatic. And so this striking pendant sits at 27 inches with that CC selectable up to 4,000 Kelvin, priced right under $3,000. It also introduces the polished nickel finish, which has always been proven to be a classic in design. And last but not least, with the Schonbeck, this is the Josephina. Inspired with simplicity in mind, this dazzling wall sconce could be a great talking point in any room, I would say a powder room. That said, it does come in two sizes, 16 and 24 inches, while featuring our best-selling Radiance crystal. Now, the pricing is going to vary depending on the fluctuating size. The 16-inch lands at $9.95 retail, while the 24-inch lands at $12.95. Now, as we continue to reimagine our designs with tunable technology, I want to redirect you to the Modern Forms collection. For all of you who are aware, this is a line that offers premium materials with an attractive price point. Now, let me repeat that again. Premium materials at an attractive price point. I cannot stress that enough. Now, in this newest collection, we've expanded our offerings with beautiful organic materials, which have done extremely well since its launch. I want you to take a moment to look at the poplin, for example. This fluted design reimagines classic textiles. Notice the complementary chain details, which goes to show you that this is actually a statement piece. Its soft appearance paired with the illuminated light gives the space a sense of comfort. Shown in aged brass, this pendant is priced at $19.95, which is a great price point, given the ingenuity. The Cineplex collection transforms average lighting into art. Featuring 9 glass elements, the sophisticated pendant is sure to command a dining room. Its complementary wall sconces will look stunning if it flanked beside a beautiful piece of art, bringing the entire room together. This retails for $13.99. The singular wall sconce is $3.29, while the 4 light that you're looking at comes at $6.49. Now on to a traditional pendant, one of my personal favorites. This is the Glossy. This offers a minimalist silhouette that embodies sophistication at its finest. With 22 inches in scale, this CCT selectable fixture is in a class of its own. Notice the fluted design in the frame. It's literally the small details that matters the most in our industry. It also introduces our newest vintage brass finish, priced a little over $1,000. And it only shows in one finish, vintage brass, but I see this doing so well, I can just imagine this being expanded. Now moving on to our reclaimed crystal collections. Hadley offers a striking resemblance to a sword. Its sleek design features 2 distinctive sizes. It also features our aged brass and brushed nickel finish. The 26-inch retails for $9.99, while the 16-inch retails for $6.29. Kiernan turns raw materials into modern art. So this is, again, another portion of the reclaimed crystals. Featured in reclaimed crystal, this javelin-inspired pendant gives a bold take to a space. 22 inches in scale, retailing at $9.99. Now let me just say this. If you thought we couldn't get any better, you're wrong. Featuring in our basalt and travertine collection, Saturno with shorter turn heads. The organic piece really resonates with that minimalist mid-century design. The texture on this piece is simply incredible. Pendant is $8.99, while the flush mount is $9.49. I just want to point out that the travertine stone is a little bit higher, but it's all relative. So I don't think that would be a determination. It's just basically on style. Skyla features a 5-tiered light with a complementary wall sconce. Now, this collection is offered in our new vintage brass finish that I mentioned earlier. One of the things that I love about this collection is that the frame just hugs that ambient lighting. It's such a lovely statement piece. Price on this is a little over $1,000, and the wall sconce sitting at $4.99. And finally, we have the Trice pendant. This is small but mighty. The knurled accent adds to the top just that luxurious element. Featured in 2 finishes, the pendant sits at $6.99 retail. Now, that wraps up the WAC Home collection for Schonbeck and Modern Forms. But that being said, are there any questions that I myself can expound on when it comes to certain collections within either brand. Well, if not, I want to thank every single one of you who've joined this webinar. Oh, I think we have one. Our modern form luminaire size is customizable. Yes, it depends. So keep in mind, whenever we're talking about modern forms, there are customizations that are available. As you know, it will alter the price point. However, we are able to make those changes for you at your discretion. Either if you're wanting to rescale, which most designers more than likely want to do, but that can happen. Also note that if you were to choose with Schonbeck, anything that you have saw within this particular slide deck, know that it could be customizable from finishes to rescaling. You could even send us your own conceptualized drawing of your own personal work and we can workshop it together. So the possibilities are completely endless when you're using Schonbeck for sure.
I see a question from Shelley asking what the default is for the fixture when you're not using the home system. So these fixtures are available even if you're not planning on using the system, and the default for them is 3000 Kelvin. Y'all are welcome.
You're welcome, Shelly. Does it cost any extra to use the WAC Home system?
Not directly. The fixture is the same price regardless, but you will need to have a wall station and a gateway if you want to be able to use the tunable white features. The gateway and the wall station are fairly similarly priced. I believe retail they're around 130. We have to look that up to make sure, but it's a very reasonable price. And if you say were to install a fixture and then later wanted to go back and swap it out to use the wall station and the gateway in the future, you definitely could. But you could install it on a standard ELV triac and upgrade, or just go straight to gold and get the wall station and get the gateway and get that tunability right out of the box. And then third-party integration. So the only integration for WAC Home right now is if you use Amazon Alexa or Google Home. Right now, it is operating as a closed system because our goal is to make it a simple, easy to approach lighting system. But if you do use something like Google Home, for example, and say you have other systems that work with your Google Home, you would use the MyWAC app to set up all of the controls that you'd like to set up. And then there's instructions in the app that tell you how to connect it to either Google or Amazon to then be able to use those voice controls with your system. But no, the app is completely free. You can find it for both Android and iPhone. So no subscription fees, none of that. We're a lighting company. We're not in it for the subscription fees.
I'm checking one more time to see if there's more questions. I know a few of them are coming in.
Oh yeah, Shelley, great question. What happens if there's a power outage? So in case of a power outage, obviously your lights will go out until power is restored, but the all of the settings are remembered by the wall station. So here in Texas, we get storms that usually knock out power and the internet all at once. So when that happens, even without an internet connection, your wall stations and your fixtures will continue to operate as expected as soon as they have power. Buttons 1, 2, 3, 4 will all be remembered. And then whenever your internet is restored, then you'll be able to reconnect to your gateway as usual. There's no process for reconnecting. But during any internet outages, you just won't be able to change your settings. But once power is back on, it'll restore right away. So reliability was something we really thought about when putting together this system for concerns of power outages or what happens when, any number of things go wrong. So we really want to make sure that this is serviceable, reliable, and not something you have to worry about going wrong. Are there any that have dim to warm functionality not on the WAC Home? That we certainly offer dim to warm fixtures. I don't know on the decorative side,
No,
if
it
we
would
have
just,
any, but I think all of the fixtures that work with WAC Home would require the home gateway in order to do the dim to warm. A max size for square footage before you would need another gateway or device? Great question. So the gateway operates on the number of fixtures less than square footage of the home. So as long as the mesh network is stable, meaning you don't have any large gaps between fixtures, which line of sight you can go up to 100 feet if there's nothing at all in between. I don't know if you have any 100-foot long hallways that you would have to worry about in your homes, but within a home, room to room, you won't have any big issues typically. Each gateway can handle up to 100 devices. So that would be a wall station as a device, and a downlight's a device, a chandelier is a device. So you could have up to 100 of those all operating on a single gateway. And then if you have more than that, or if you just want to make sure you have a really robust network, so you've got an upstairs and a downstairs, or an east and a west, whatever, however you divide up the home, if you have multiple gateways, but those gateways will be added to the same place within the app, and they'll function all together in harmony. So you won't have to, open up one gateway and do things separately there, and then open up a different gateway. They'll all show up in one cohesive list, and you can program across gateways. So it's not so much about square footage, but just making sure you have good coverage and then enough gateways for the number of fixtures you have.
I think that's it. Is that all the questions that we have regarding WAC Home, or as well as the decorative fixtures? Give it one more moment just to make sure.
And if you all think of questions, either about the product lineup or about the technology, you can see our emails up on the screen, jordan.scott@WAC Lighting and Kalin.scott@WAC Lighting. We are long lost cousins, no direct
Yeah.
relation. But
I always jokingly say that, like, this is my cousin. I'm like, how
exactly.
odd. Yeah.
But please feel free to reach out. If you think of a question after the fact, please don't hesitate. We're here to be of assistance to you.
Of course, I will also say at Jordan, I don't know if you mentioned, but if you need pricing, please send an email directly to me. I can more than likely get you that pricing today. If there is anything that I can do to further assist you on your projects, I am always a beacon of support. So do not hesitate to follow up with me.
Oh, yes. And if you look in the chat, Rachel just shared, we have one more webinar on WAC Home, August 27th, and that will cover the installation side of WAC Home. So if you have questions about how it works, how it'll be installed, that's the webinar for you. You can go ahead and register now. It's up on our website, so don't miss out. And these will all be posted as well to our YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and reference this webinar or the previous webinar or the future webinar, please feel free to check out our YouTube channel, WAC Group, and you'll find all of our webinars for home as well as other products posted there. All right, thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, Kalin.
Thank you. Thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful afternoon or day.
Yes,
Yes.
we're all over different time zones. Thank y'all so much.
Bye.
Bye.